today's video. And in today's video, I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Katie Porter and Donald Trump. I'm gonna go get started with labeling all of Porter's safe states. This should be, I think, a pretty interesting matchup, as these two candidates kind of fit into each other's strengths and weaknesses. Trump, his main strength comes in rural areas and with the working class, where Porter is weak. And Porter's main strengths, I would say, come in more urban areas, and especially I think she would be a strong candidate in the suburbs, where Trump is weak, which would likely it would create a weird dynamic where they both where we would likely see many areas that are shifting away from the GOP shift away a lot, and a lot of areas are shifting away from the Democrats shift away by a lot. So these are all the safe states. Not New Mexico. Colorado is probably going to be safe. Porter doesn't have, or Trump doesn't have the support in the suburbs to be able to do it. And we'll also likely see Hispanic and Latino voters shift to Porter. For her likely states, I'm going to give her New Mexico, Virginia, New Hampshire, I guess, Maine at large, Nebraska second, and that is it. So in New Mexico, she's probably going to do worse with oil workers, probably do better with the Hispanic and Latino vote, and those will probably cancel each other out. And it'll probably be like 2020 numbers. We could see it slip down to like 6%, like Ben Ray Lawan. But still 2020 numbers, nonetheless. Virginia, I think she's a pretty good candidate for a state like Virginia, especially if she's against a candidate like I was gonna say Mitt Romney. He's not a great example. A candidate who doesn't have a lot of support in the suburbs, but won't be able to get enough rural turnout. Because I think she's really good for the DC suburbs, but I also see Trump getting a lot of rural turnout. Probably seeing it go to Porter by 12 or 13%. New Hampshire, she's just gonna do pretty well with the white rural college educated vote. She's probably gonna win by like 6, 7, or 8%. And in Nebraska second, she's too good with the suburban vote. For Trump's likely states, Kansas, South Carolina, Nebraska second, Nebraska's first, Iowa, Ohio, and Maine's second, Alaska as well. And that is it. So, in Nebraska's first, she's just gonna do narrowly better with suburban voters, or obviously better. But it'll narrowly give her an edge. She'll probably do worse in the rural areas, but considering that it was kind of likely in 2020, it was likely lean or likely safe, however you want to characterize it. Because it was like 15% on, I think, Jackson Jude. It has it being likely. So, but she's just gonna do slightly better in the suburbs, which I'll probably give it to her likely. She'll also probably do worse with the rural vote. So it could be safe. I mean, like, actually, just considering that she's not gonna do strong enough with the rural vote, it's hard, but I'm gonna give it to Trump. Likely. By the way, Kansas is a very similar thing. Kansas and Nebraska's first, are very similar in the demographics. Or not very similar, but it's gonna be like we're gonna see. It was likely in 2020 Nebraska's first one's gonna debate it. But we're gonna see likely suburban vote playing a role, and then rural turnout playing a role, and rural vote. I just don't see Porter getting the support with rural voters, but I do see Trump doing worse in the Kansas City suburbs, probably winning Kansas by not exactly 15%, but probably like 15.5%, 16%, I guess, at best. Iowa, I mean, like, he's not going to do bad, or he's actually going to do very well with Obama to Trump voters. I said he's not going to do bad enough. He's going to do well enough. If he was able to win it, likely in 2020, I don't see enough Obama to Trump voters flipping to Porter, especially if they didn't flip to Biden. Probably like a 10 or 11% margin of victory for him. Ohio, she's going to do better in the suburbs, but it's not going to be enough. Trump's going to do significantly better with the working class, and probably carry the state by like 9 or 10%. Maine second, very similar thing. I don't see Porter doing well enough with Obama to Trump voters to be able to win it. Alaska, it's going to continue to shift to the left. I mean, like, we're going to see more and more Native American vote share, which is going to favor Porter. But Trump is going to be pretty strong with oil workers. South Carolina, Porter's not going to be able to do well enough with the white rural vote, but Trump's going to be pretty, I guess, average with the rural black vote, and that could maybe narrowly help Porter. I don't know. I don't necessarily think she's amazing for the black vote, but not like awful. She's just pretty average. Like for a Democrat, so she's. I mean, most Democrats generally are pretty good for the black vote. For Porter's lean states, I'm gonna give her Nevada, Wisconsin, or why did I say Wisconsin? I clicked on Minnesota, and I said Wisconsin. I don't know if that made any sense. That I clicked on Minnesota and I said Wisconsin. Okay, yeah, that makes no sense. But Minnesota and Nevada. For Trump's lean states, Texas and Florida. These states are essentially what's going to decide it. Or probably. For Porter and Nevada, she's going to do pretty poorly with the white rural vote, but she's going to do better, with, like, the Bernie bros, and she's probably going to do better, or slightly, average, I guess, with the Hispanic Latino vote. Probably better than Biden, though. Which will probably give her, like, a 1.8% margin of victory. Minnesota, she's going to do, pretty decent in, the Minneapolis area, but she's going to do pretty poorly, in the iron range. Probably carry it, like, 4%. Trump, Texas, he's going to do really well with rural voters. I don't necessarily know that he'll do as well in the Rio Grande as he did in 2020, and I don't see him doing as well in the suburbs, which will likely, bring it down to lean. And in Florida, sorry, I just sprayed a lot of hand sanitizer on my hand. In Florida, and it made a weird sound. In Florida, she's gonna do really bad in Miami. She's gonna do really, really poorly in Miami, especially if Biden did so bad. She could, realistically speaking, she could lose Miami-Dade and lose it by like 2%. But she's gonna do pretty decent in the suburbs. So it won't be enough to offset her losses, even losses from 2020 with Hispanic and Latino voters, which will likely give it to Trump by 3 or 4%. For her tilt states, Michigan and Georgia, while Trump will get Arizona. Arizona's a really tough call. North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So, I do have Trump winning this. Let's just go start with Arizona. Arizona, the reason that Trump lost it in 2020, obviously, Biden did pretty well with the Hispanic, or average, or he didn't do as poorly with the Hispanic Latino vote in, like, Arizona, I don't think, at least from what I've seen. His main struggles with Hispanic Latino voters were in Texas and Florida. So I see Porter maybe doing nearly better, but I think that one of the big reasons was that we saw a lot of very conservative traditionals who didn't like Trump shift away from him, and because they liked Biden, or they didn't even necessarily like Biden, but he wasn't Trump and he was a moderate. If we look at most of the Democrats who have won here, it had been a neolib, a moderate, and a moderate. I mean, like, they are on the liberal side of moderate in terms of Mark Kelly and Joe Biden. Yes, that's they are some of the more liberal moderates, but they're not like your Joe Manchins or John Testers, but they aren't exactly like AOC. They're moderates, but I don't see Trump doing poorly enough with a lot of those voters. I see them saying, like, looking at this and saying, well, I don't like Trump, I don't like Porter, I am a far-right conservative, and Porter is a far-left liberal. I don't want that. Trump's economy, at least, was fairly strong before COVID and all that. So I'm gonna vote for him, and I could see that giving Trump a narrow margin of victory, just because I don't see him doing, I don't see him not getting enough of that vote share. I don't see him, I guess, yeah. I don't see him doing poorly enough of those voters. I said it in a kind of strange way that doesn't necessarily make sense. It does, but it was unnecessarily strange. In Georgia, Porter, she's going to do well enough in the Georgia suburbs. They're getting more and more diverse, which will, probably help her. She's going to do very well in the Atlanta area. We're going to see a lot of anti-Trump turnout. Trump's going to do well in rural areas, but we're going to see probably less rural turnout, and Trump's going to do better, but it'll narrowly give the victory to Porter, probably like 0.2%. North Carolina, Porter's just going to do better in Charlotte and its suburbs and in these more urban and suburban areas. Trump's going to do really well with the working class, and he's going to do really well with the rural vote. But Porter will likely be able to offset that and lose it by like 0.8%. In Wisconsin, Trump is far too strong with the working class, and Porter is far too weak. If Trump was able to win it by a larger margin in 2016 than Biden in 2020, with a candidate, and if that's against Hillary Clinton, with a candidate like Katie Porter, it's going to be really, really bad for her. She's not going to be able to do well enough with the working class, and it's going to give Trump, even despite gains in the suburbs, it's going to give Trump a margin of victory by roughly 0.8% probably. Honestly, we could see it go to a lean. But I don't necessarily know that we'd see enough Obama to Biden or Obama to Trump to Biden voters flipping to Porter. I mean, we'd see a lot, yes, but I don't know that it'll be enough to bring it up to lean, especially given her strength in the suburbs. Michigan, I mean, like she's gonna do too well in the suburbs and in a lot of these more urban areas, a lot of these cities, a lot of these smaller cities. Probably she's gonna do decent. But Trump's gonna be strong with the working class, but it probably won't be enough. Pennsylvania, Porter's not gonna be strong enough with the working class. She's going to do pretty poorly in Pittsburgh. Could win Allegheny County by like only 11-12%. Though she's going to do pretty well in the Philly area and in Philly. It probably wouldn't be enough, especially considering the fact they're going to likely see a lot of rural turnout against her. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment any suggestions down below. I started briefly on it. I'm probably gonna have to pick up more to it. Hopefully I can get some free time to do it. Like tomorrow. On my 100 subscriber election night special, which you guys decided. The final results are in. So that's nice. But please don't comment. Or at least for the time being. Probably after that you can. Don't suggest elections. Actually, maybe something brief because I can probably do something brief in like 2-3 hours. But any elections, anything that's not going to take me a lot of time so I can devote more time to this would be great. If you guys want to comment more election nights though after that, if I can get some more free time, as my school year starts to end, I'll probably get a lot more free time. I would be open to doing those. So yeah, please comment all your suggestions down below. Because I really need some more ideas because I've done I think most of these big major candidates against each other. So yes, please comment your suggestions down below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. And I'll see you all there. Bye.